it's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft my world stands still. Over here today I'm on the Crafty Meraki channel, and I'm going to teach you how to get watercolor that looks like this. I'm using the whimsical Magnolia Press-tacular plate, but you could get the same results if you use the same stamp set that is the same as the Press-tacular plates. And then there's also coordinating die. So let's get right into the pressing of my floral images here, and then I'll get into the watercolor right after that. So to start, I'm going to use a big piece of some watercolor paper that I have from my stash and some black Better Press ink. Better Press ink does work very well with watercolor because it is archival and the water does not affect the ink. So I'll just ink up my whole plate. It's kind of nice that it's a press once, cut once situation. I can get all of those images and sentiments in one press through with my die cutting machine. I just took that off camera and ta-da, look at that. I like it so much that I'm actually going to do 2 presses. So you're going to see a pink floral card here today on camera, but I'll just do this one more time so you can see it. It is really that simple. Of course, this is sped up just a little bit, but you can see that this is very quick to press out quite a lot of florals and sentiments in a couple minutes. And since I have my press dirty from using it once, might as well do it twice, right? But look at this. I'm going to aggressively rub. Nothing smudges, nothing moves. It's pretty nice. At least I think. I like that the ink dries so very fast. I always use the LDRS Extreme Clean to clean up my press plates. Now I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. These are my go-to. I just find this to be extremely easy to get a beautiful blend with my watercolors. I'm treating them kind of like a colored pencil at this point in my process. I'm just filling in with my darkest color that I'm going to use first, and it's kind of like Copic coloring. You want to go in with either your medium or dark shade first, and then you kind of blend it through. Maybe you're a light to dark person. It just kind of depends on your technique. So I'm just going to share mine. I like to go dark to light and just kind of give each flower petal their little veins and kind of fill in everything, but I'm definitely going to leave some white space on my petals, especially because magnolias kind of have that light pink with white look to them. My tip for coloring florals for sure is to look at a real picture of whatever flower you're coloring, and that will help guide your coloring and your picking the right color. At least I think. But sometimes you can live in a crazy world and just make your colors however you want. So there's no rules when it comes to coloring images, in my opinion. But if you want it to look realistic, choose the same color that's in nature. Alright, after I have my flowers basically colored, maybe I'll just darken it up with just a little bit of that worn lipstick. Side note on these pencils, I have all 6 sets. They are a little bit of an investment, not as much as a Copic marker, but I find them to be just amazing for watercoloring. So if a brush intimidates you with watercoloring, I would recommend doing this, because most people have colored with colored pencils before, and you just want to make sure that they're nice and sharp so you can get into all these little detailed areas. I loved the flowers that had this stem on it. I think the pink and the green worked really well together. Now, my biggest tip for watercoloring is to just let the water do the work for you. So we're going to get into that here in just a minute. I'm going to spray some water down on my glass mat. Sometimes I'll use a little tray, or sometimes I'll just spray it on my glass mat and not even worry about it. This is what I'm doing here today. Anytime I go in between colors, I will just blot it on a little bit of a paper towel or a rag that I have in my craft room. Alright, I'm going to go in from the lightest spot into the center and leave it. See how I'm leaving it? I'm not coming back and smushing it. Light to dark, leave it. Light to dark, leave it. Light to dark, leave it. And I'm going to go around and move my stamp wheel here all around, but basically That is all you need to do. Add some water on there and leave it. I'm adding extra water with my brush, but I'm not adding any mixture to each petal. And then you'll leave it to dry and you'll get a flower that looks like this. I'm amazed at what these pencils can do with just a little bit of water. And the Prestacular plates are really great because they give a very solid image, and then it presses into that watercolor paper and leaves these little areas for the water to do its thing. So I love it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will check back on this video and answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, make sure to like and subscribe. And oh dear, before I go, I almost forgot to show you my finished card. So I went ahead and added a bunch of those florals and just glued them straight onto my card, and then used the frame dies from Crafty Meraki and popped it on a card base. A really simple look to the card. It's almost clean and simple. I would say it's kind of on the edge of clean and simple, but it is a really fun card. We will see you in the next one. I'll be posting next week with another item from the new release. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.